Things people think about poverty that aren't true. One thing people think is true about poverty is that people who are not officially poor have enough money to support themselves and their families. While they may be able to scrape by, life is often really difficult for low income families, even if their struggles are not obvious to lots of people. Imagine having shoes, but they don't fit because your parents could only afford to buy one pair for the whole year, so they started off too big, they fit for a while, and then they were too small. Or that you didn't get to play sports because uniforms and registration fees were just too expensive. Or imagine you never got to have a snack after school, and there were never second helpings at dinner. Or video games? You only ever saw them advertised on TV. Another misconception is about whether or not people in poverty work. It is true many people in poverty don't work because they're sick or disabled or because they can't find a job, or maybe because they've gotten so discouraged they stopped looking for a job. What is also true is that millions and millions of people in poverty work. At least 10 million adults who are living in poverty work. The minimum hourly wage, or the minimum amount of money that employers have to pay most workers, in the United States is currently $7.25. The US Congress sets the minimum wage for the country, adjusting it every so often. Various states or cities can raise the minimum wage in their areas, and many have, but often not by much. People who work full time at 40 hours a week for the federal minimum wage earn just over $15,000 a year. If a single mother with two kids makes that much working in a store, her family falls below the poverty line for a family of three. This helps explain why a diverse group, including economists, religious leaders, and activists, point to raising the minimum wage as core to fighting poverty. How? Well, similar to what we saw in the last chapter, the more money the mother working in the store earns, the more she has for spending. When she buys a new dress or a book, the shopkeeper she buys from then has more money to buy nutritious food from the grocery store for his kids. The grocery store owner then has more money to invest in expanding her store, hiring people to help with the construction, and then more people to work in the store, who then have more money to take their kids to the movies and so on. Other people think this isn't a good idea, arguing that higher wages would mean employers would hire fewer people. There's a wide variety of views on the minimum wage, if it should be raised, and if so, by how much. This is another area where you'll have to make up your mind about what you think the right answer is, especially when you're a voter, as more and more states and cities are putting minimum wage increases on the ballot, meaning you'd get to directly vote in favor or not. There are countless books, articles, and other materials about what people think the major causes of poverty in the US are and what the best solutions to poverty are. Most are written for adults, and many are written by experts in the field for other experts in the field, meaning they're harder for anyone who is not an expert, most of us, to read. There are some exceptions to this, like Poverty USA, an initiative of the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. It has an excellent website for teachers, families, and kids to learn about poverty in the US and how to combat it, which you can find at povertyusa.org or pobrezausa.org for their all Spanish site. Eliminating poverty is something we all have a stake in. The United States is one of the wealthiest countries in the world, yet poverty remains painfully persistent, trapping millions of kids into their adult lives with the threat of homelessness and hunger never far away.